Up this long dirt road in very good condition. And by note, the federal campgrounds are all closed. However, all the way up here, there are turnouts that I could park my van in had I known or had taken the initiative to drive up this far. This is where the old mining town of St Elmo begins for us today. I suspect that in its heyday it ranged farther back along the road we traveled up this morning. As you can see, there are flat areas, old timbers lying about, very, very typical of old ghost towns. And over there you see an abutment, cement abutment, that probably was some kind of a dam, but I don't know. LRJ, looking gorgeous as usual. This map, I believe where I am is on the right middle, where it says to Nathrop, and probably right about where the words popular are is where I'm standing. Center for four-wheel driving, because they're coming up here in hordes. I walked through, since I drove through once, and I'll walk through hopefully before others. It's the first building that we encounter on our right. Here we get a little look inside through the window on the door. Just a couple up here in their four-wheeler. Took a quick run about the town and now off to explore the mountains. They've got gear with them, whether they're hunters or don't think they're camping out, but don't really know. Entry the four-wheeled rig is the vehicle of choice, no longer the horse. Pretty active shop. It looks like an important building at half-mast. I wonder why. Oh, we see chunks of the old iron equipment. Walk down from there, just getting into town now. How many of these are original to that old day? We don't know, but that one perhaps. We'll take a closer look. This looks like a guest house. Probably during the tourist season it does well. Not open yet, but the man who runs it just came out, so maybe on the way back it will be. The tourists about, you'll notice something very typical of ghost towns, mining ghost towns, and that is various levels that in the past would have held buildings. This would have been a very compacted place in its heyday. Few empty lots like this one. Temperature right now is right at 0. The flag has 48 stars. In the original floor. Metal stairway replaces the old wooden one that would have traipsed up there, and it looks like there might have been a balcony along that area too. Across the creek, more homes and flat areas. Like any historical site, you have to try to add what was here before and add the activity that was going on through your brain, your imagination. Stored somewhat. Evans Firewall, the Savard building, 1881 and 1900. The two names imply, but it's interesting that there's this big substantial rock wall and well built, and then the log structure on the left. Perhaps this wall was for the building to the right. I'm thinking that's true, because you'll notice a thin little ledge up there that would have been used to support the second floor. The route to Tin Cup Pass These names, of course, would have had and still do have some considerable history to them. I don't know what it is or if we can get it from the internet. It's still good that just even a remnant exists. And notice that at some point in time, the earlier wood facing was covered over with this wood. Now, probably there were big windows there, I'm guessing. There would have been a boardwalk, keep you out of the swill part of the time you were walking around town. Those draperies look authentic or what? The interesting characters that would have passed through this doorway. For a lock or a door ringer, holes here that are filled in might have held name plaques of some. For some of the old memorabilia, in hopes that someday this place will arise enough to bring them out and restore. Wallpaper, isn't that neat? You know that's authentic. And the wainscoting, too cool. This building that once was an addition, covered in metal plate. Chip, 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 chip. Frightened to death of me, that's for sure. Is interesting. Notice the portion added to the left. Was it just a stairway going upstairs? A more classy thing than a stairway that was exposed? At this point you can see how much of an incorporation this little house was to the one on the right, as well as the major addition that did it. A device for joining the smaller building, smaller home, to the larger building. Better look at the construction. Was that always the way it was, or was the outer layer added at a later refined point in time? Again, another closer look at the old wallpaper. Looking through the window, so it's clouded over a bit and probably hard to see much inside. We couldn't learn a lot of fun stories related to those several beds. Here, a rough attempt to hold this building together, and I'm wondering if that's not the privy. Close enough. But boy, in a weather like this, yikes, gotta think that one through. Attempt just to keep it from falling down. Someday in the future we can restore.